Hello, my beautiful Bean team.
As we have just come back from our recent trip around Europe in the camper van, we wanted to make a quick video for you to summarize the trip and what we learnt about van life.
For those of you who don't know, we've recently been looking at getting a van and we decided to go and test out van life.
Yeah, pretty much. And so this last trip was just a big practice run for us, really, because we've never spent such a long time in a camper van before, and we knew there'd be some things that we'd want to learn to implement in our own van for the future.
So before we left, we checked out a couple of different sizes. We looked at an RV and a smaller van, and we went for the slightly smaller van because we were a little bit afraid of driving something too big.
Yeah, and actually we were thinking for our van that we would probably go for a Transit medium wheelbase with a high roof, and this one was a low roof but still the medium wheelbase. So we really wanted to test out the length of it as well.
Very early on, we became very comfortable with driving a bigger car.
Yeah.
Especially Emma.
I did most of the driving. I get car sick pretty badly. So.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just nothing to do with me getting scared.
Yeah, so we are 100% comfortable with getting a longer wheelbase, which I'm really excited for because obviously the longer the van, the more you can fit in it.
So in terms of living space, we're looking for something now with a higher roof.
Definitely.
And longer. So one of the reasons is so we can fit a static bed. We don't want to be making our bed every day.
No, definitely not. And I'm in my 30s, right? I'm getting on a bit. I can't be bending over constantly in the van. I need a high roof.
We're even considering, I'm not sure if this is going to be feasible because of price, but we're even considering one of those crazy like hydraulic beds that go up and then reveal our living room, and then at night time you can separate it down with a bed that you don't have to make.
That would be the dream. Obviously it's not going to be the cheapest option, but if it means that we don't have to make up a bed every night and pack away our workspace every night, then it could be worthwhile.
Also, now infamously, I feel like, from our last channel, you would see the struggles we had with using a van without a shower.
If you haven't already, go and check out the last episode of the trip where Alex finally uses the shower in a bag.
It was as glamorous as it looks as I get down on my knees to use. To be fair, it was a warm shower, but it wasn't the most fun looking for places to shower like that.
No.
Also, we did go to campsites and it was super easy to go and use the facilities, but one of the reasons with the van is we want the freedom to be able to go off into nature, go hiking, and not have to go and pay for a campsite every night.
Definitely, and if we're going to be working up a sweat, going hiking and doing these activities, I don't want to be traipsing around trying to find a place to use my shower in a bag. I want to be able to just use the shower in the van. So a shower is 100% a must now.
That is more important to us than actually having a toilet. We don't necessarily want to have a toilet that's with all the plumbing and emptying the black waste.
Instead, I think we would actually use one of these sort of standalone toilets, which essentially isn't that different apart from you don't have the plumbing, and instead you empty it manually or it gets sealed off with a bag inside. We haven't quite decided which one we're going to go for, but there will be a toilet.
We probably won't show you that process when we do have the van, but you can imagine that it's going to be a case of like zip sealing a bag and throwing it in the bin.
Like a dog poo. And also another thing that I really want is a permanent kitchen inside the van. I mean, that's something that we already wanted anyway, but with this trip especially, cooking outside the van every night was fine for a 2-week trip, but not something I want to be doing every single day.
Next up for us was stealth. This was something important before we got the camper van. This is something that we thought was going to be essential to this way of life. But
turns out, not so essential.
It was just so easy.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we broke down in Rottenburg in Germany, a very touristy small place inside the city walls, and we had no issue sleeping there. We slept in car parks near the center of Český Krumlov, a place in Czech Republic. The same in Würzburg. It was very, very easy.
I think also the reason we wanted the stealth so much is maybe we were put off when we did our California road trip, because it was really hard to find places to sleep because apparently they don't like you sleeping in your car in California.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to pay $80 just for a parking space so I can sleep in my own car.
So I think that scared us a little bit, but now that we realise we're not in California, we're in Europe, which is lovely and free and you can sleep anywhere.
We've also realised as well with this that we don't necessarily want to live full time in the van, but we want the ability to live full time in the van. So I really like the idea of being able to get a base and say live somewhere for 3 months, and then when we're on our way to our next base, we can take as long as we need, as long as we want. It could be 3 months, 6 months. We can travel around and have the freedom to live in the van.
Yeah, freedom. I think freedom is what this van represents to us. It's the way we like to travel anyway.
Is that the American in you coming out?
Maybe it is.
For those that don't know, Emma did grow up in America.
Another big thing for us was the power situation. So for most people, you don't need loads of power to live in a van. But if you're working online from your laptops and filming and needing to charge drones and cameras and all that kind of stuff, you need some decent power. So that's definitely something that we need to think about with the van.
Especially for us trying to release videos whilst on the road trip. During a COVID situation, we couldn't just go to cafes like we usually do.
Yeah.
We had to try and fit it in and charge whilst driving, and it was possible, but it was just, you had to be so switched on. So I think that is going to be a hugely important thing for us. And also the convenience of the power as well, which we've really got to think about. So like having power by the bed, other places.
A few different power options as well, not only solar power but also battery power, inverters, like there's so many things to think about. Also, I think for us, obviously the vans that you're hiring as a camper van for a couple of weeks, they don't need to think so much about storage, but for us, a lot of storage is necessary. I mean, we have so many little gizmos and gadgets that we just need to have places to put away and not feel like the whole place is cluttered.
It also helped doing this trip to think about the little things like where do you put your shoes when you come in after they're wet and muddy, or even not having to put shoes on to get out of the car to go to the front, like maybe just having some slippers or a place for these things, or being able to access the front. These things were important for us just to test out.
Yeah, and actually something else that I didn't think we wanted, mainly because of the stealth aspect, but now because we're not so bothered about the stealth aspect, is awning on the side of the van. That maybe like a permanent one that we can just pull out is going to be the best option.
The awning can be like an extension of the place.
Yeah.
So that does seem like an important thing, because being able to have almost like a garden wherever you are was just a really nice aspect.
Yeah, and also this one burns like a poor little baby, and he needs the shade.
So this leads us to the timescale of when we're going to get our van. Firstly, I want to say thank you so much to the people that have donated towards this. We've put it all to the side.
Same with the patrons. All of the money from the patrons over the last few months have been going directly into the camper van pot.
So basically right now we are currently filming another series.
Yes. We're in Germany right now, guys.
As we speak. We're in the Black Forest.
We are.
Looks lovely.
There you go. Secret's out.
So what we're trying to do right now is to build up enough footage that when we come back, we're not going to be reliant on becoming a camper van renovation channel. We want to be able to release that stuff maybe alongside travel content. After this trip that we're currently on, when we go home, hopefully we will be in the position to buy our van and start working on it. So in terms of new content that's coming to the channel, we are currently on our way to Italy in a tiny Fiat 500, the complete opposite of what we're looking for. Maybe this is the last time we'll ever be in a small car.
So if you would like to see our new series, which we're filming now, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and...
Is it time?
I think it might be time.
The last time you saw me do this, I was naked on my knees. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time, and beads out!